I woke up to a world gone mad, not from recalling to have trash collected, but from a bone-deep wrongness. The comforting whir of my oxygen concentrator, my lifeline, was stilled, unavailable, superseded by an oppressive silence dense enough to deserve a spot in a horror film. My lunges, already unreliable, nodded. Every breath felt like pulling air through a cracked bellows. "Be quiet, Tom," I groaned, rolling out of bed. "Maybe a popped breaker? Or a squirrel with an axe to bear?" Naive hope. I lurched to the breaker box. Every light was lit. Then I saw her, Margaret Ellison, HOA of Willow Creek president, standing in my lawn in a pastel-colored tracksuit and gleaming visor, holding wire cutters beside my power meter. My doctor-approved power meter. I hammered at the window, barely squawking. "Margaret, what the devil's got into you?" She looked up, as calm as a cucumber in a refrigerator. "Mr. Delaney," she called pleasantly, "your garden gnome Clarence is encroaching on Mrs. Lavender's rose buffer by an inch." Section 12, subsection C. Clarence, a fishing gnome my niece had presented me with, was somehow the issue. I pointed to the meter. "Margaret, that powers my oxygen machine. I need it to breathe." She smiled, cadaverous and smug. "Rules are rules. Non-compliant design precipitates amenity suspension. Electricity is an amenity. Further, your machine's whine disrupted the community soundscape." And then, with the elegance of a cooking show host slicing a carrot, she sliced the wire. My green light on my concentrator burned out. Backup battery took over. 2 hours of oxygen. Maybe. I pulled out my backup oxygen tank, plugged it in, and dialed 911. "My HOA board president just shut off the electricity to my life support," I rasped. "The dispatcher said they'd send somebody, but power disputes were a utility issue, unless someone was actually going to die. They'd be a few hours." I wasn't going to have a few hours. Then I spotted it, the rule book of the HOA Margaret's Bible. Somewhere in that, I remembered a provision for emergency medical supplies. That was my get out. I called Dr. Sanchez. She taught me oxygen conservation. Then I searched generator rental near me. Enter Jack's Power Rentals. When I said I was looking for something big, Jack chuckled. "I've got a 50-ton diesel. Just ran a clinic." "Where to?" "Willow Creek," I replied, quickly. And less than an hour later, Jack pulled up, his truck a steel giant, rumbling like a war drum. "Mr. Delaney, your power platoon's arrived," he grinned. "Right on my lawn," I replied, gesturing toward a few feet from Margaret's roses. Jack's eyes glinted. "We'll do our best not to ruffle the petals." As they lowered the generator, a yellow monstrosity that looked like it could power a moon base, into place, Margaret's head snapped up. Her shears clattered to the ground. Her jaw dropped as well. The generator thundered into life with a flick of a switch. My concentrator whirred back to life. I inhaled like I'd never caught a whiff of air before. Margaret stormed over. "This monstrosity flouts every regulation. My roses have been traumatized." I held up her favorite rule book. "Page 79, Section E, emergency equipment permitted. My emergency, Margaret. Your wire cutters." "This is eco-terror," she yelled. "My lungs wouldn't agree." Next came the police, Officers Brooks and Riley. Margaret fluttered over to them like a ghost. "Officers, he's having a scene with this illegal machine." Brooks measured me up, oxygen tank whistling. "Sir? Tom Delaney." My HOA president cut off my life support due to a gnome. Riley blinked. "She cut off your life support?" Margaret sniffed. "His gnome threw unauthorized shadows." Brooks groaned. "Ma'am, HOAs can't tamper with medical power. That's reckless endangerment. Maybe criminal." I added, "Doorbell cam recorded the whole thing, including her rant about Clarence." Jack produced permits. Everything was legal. The generator stood. Margaret was asked to make a statement. Soon enough, an electrician named Ellie arrived to survey the damage. "She slaughtered your meter," she cried, wide-eyed. Neighbors murmured, some annoyed with the disruption, others delighted with the drama. Mrs. Lavender herself winked. "My cat likes the vibrations. Please go on, Tom." At a surprise impromptu HOA meeting, Margaret tried to rally support. The gruff gardener, Mr. Thompson, growled, You cut his life support for a gnome. Mrs. Lavender contributed. Your actions were atrocious. I stood up. Sorry for the interruption, but I had no choice. Laura, a lawyer, cited bylaws. Margaret's actions exposed the HOA to lawsuits. The board winced. They presented her with resignation. She resigned that afternoon. A suit-wearing man handed her papers, presumably a lawsuit. Her home? Up for sale in a week. And me? I'm breathing easy. Clarence's fishing rod now holds a tiny victory flag.